The Israelites have been wandering in the wilderness for over 40 years, and now they're ready to go into the land of Canaan. But in order to get into the land of Canaan, they have to cross Moab. And the king of Moab is furious with those Israelites. He said they're drinking the water and tramping the grass and eating the corn. And then he thought of a prophet that lived somewhere nearby, and he thought, I'll send my soldiers to the prophet and get him to come over here and curse these Israelites, and that'll take care of the situation. Well, they sent the soldiers, and they arrived at the door of the little prophet. Now, the little prophet never had anybody come to see him, never had anybody come and ask him to prophesy or give him something spiritual. And so when they came and knocked on his door, he went and opened the door, and here were these men on camels, and they looked important, and he said, wow, hi, guys. Come on in, come on in. And they said, we have a very important announcement from the king of Moab. Well, that's okay. You can tell me the announcement later. Come on in and sit down and chat for just a minute. So they came in and they sat down and they sat by the fire and he served them tea. And after a while they said again, we have a very important announcement from the king of Moab that we need to make to you. And the little prophet Balaam said, okay, what do you need to tell me? Well, they said, the king of Moab is very angry, because the Israelites are tramping the grass and eating the corn and drinking the water, and he wants you to come and curse those Israelites. And Balaam thought, wow, I'll get to take a trip. Somebody actually wants me to do something. And then he thought, but I need to ask God first. So he said, well, just a minute, fellas. I need to go ask God about this. That's fine. So he went in his bedroom and he got down on his knees and he said, God, you know, I've got a chance to go somewhere and do something, and I never get to go anywhere and do anything. And could I please go to Moab and curse the Israelites? They're tramping the grass and drinking the water and eating the corn. And God said, no, Balaam. I love the Israelites. I'm going to bless them, not curse them. So there's no need for you to go. Okay, God, I sure am disappointed. I thought this would be a good chance for me to do something. Well, he went back out and he told the men, I'm sorry. I can't go. You'll have to go back and tell Moab I can't take the money. And the reason is that God blesses the Israelites. He doesn't curse them. Well, when the king heard that message, he stomped his feet and he was just furious. And he said, you didn't offer him enough money. You didn't make him understand how bad it is. I mean, they're tramping the grass and drinking the water and eating the corn, and you go back and get him to come back and do this. Well, they went back again, and they knocked on the door. And Balaam came to the door. Oh, hi, guys. Here you are again. I'm so glad to see you. Come on in. We have an important message from the king. No. Come in first and sit down and let's chat a while. So they came in and they sat down and they said, well, Balaam, you know what the king wants. He wants you to come and curse the Israelites. And Balaam said, well, I'd really like to do it, guys, but I've got to go ask God first. Well, go on, ask him. So Balaam went off in his bedroom, got down on his knees, and he said, God, they're back. Did you know that? Oh, yeah, well, of course you knew that. Well, God, they want me to come and curse the Israelites, and they've got a lot of money to give me, and it's a chance for me to go somewhere and do something. Please, God, couldn't I just this once go? And God said, Balaam, it's a bad idea, but, yes, but, well, if you can go and only say exactly what I tell you to say, no matter what. Oh, I can, God, please. I'll do it. That's exactly the way I'll do it. Can I go? Well, it's not a good idea, but yes, you can go. Oh, he was so excited. He went running out and told the men, I can go. Now, you just go spend the night somewhere and let me get all ready, and tomorrow morning early I'll be all set to go. Well, the men left, and Balaam washed his underwear and put his money under the bed, and he fed the donkey, and he laid down in his bed, and it's just like it is when you're getting ready to go on vacation. You know, he couldn't sleep. And finally, daylight began to come, and he hopped up and grabbed his suitcase and got his donkey out, and he's ready to go. Well, they're walking down the road, ready to go, and God looks down and sees Balaam, and he thinks, I need to warn him again. I need an angel. Yes, sir? What can I do for you, sir? Well, do you see that little fella down there on the donkey? Yeah, I see him. Well, he's my man, and I want to warn him. I want to do something really spectacular to make him remember what he's promised me. Okay, let's see, God. Well, we could start a fire. No, I've already done that. Well, we could send a big rainstorm. No, no, no. No, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your sword, and it'll be your fiery sword, and I want you to zap yourself down right in front of that dumb donkey, and nobody's going to see you but the donkey. And the angel said, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll do it. So Balaam is walking along the road calmly with the rest of the men, and all of a sudden, wham! Down in front of the donkey comes this fiery sword and an angel, and it scared the donkey to death, and he goes running off. And you can't post on a donkey. He's just bouncing up and down, and he looks so silly, and finally Balaam whips him and gets him stopped and turned around, and the guys from Moab are saying, my goodness, he can't even control his donkey. How's he going to do anything about the Israelites? Well, he got him back in line again, and he said, I don't know what happened. My donkey's never acted like that before. I just don't understand it. And so they're walking along again, and after a while they come to this little village, and the street is very narrow, and there are walls on either side of the street. And God says, I need an angel. Yes, sir. See the little fellow on the donkey? Yes, sir. Scared him pretty bad, didn't it? Well, I want you to do it again. Again? Yes, I want you to do it again. Okay, sir. And so, as they're walking along down the street with the walls on every side, all of a sudden, zap! Down comes the angel with a fiery sword. Nobody sees it but the donkey. The donkey turns and butts his head up against that wall, and a big knot shows, and his eyes are crossed, and he's seeing stars, and he hurts so bad, and he hurt Balaam's leg, and Balaam's whipping him and saying, what's the matter with you, you dumb donkey? You never acted like this before. And he finally got him turned around. Now the guys are just dying laughing. But it's really not funny, because the poor old donkey's got a terrible headache, and he's seeing stars, and he's got a big knot on his head, and so they go walking down the road a little further, and God says, I need the angel again. You want me to do it again, God? That donkey's going to have a nervous breakdown. Probably, but I want to warn the prophet. So zap yourself down there again. Well, zap came the angel with the fiery sword, and the donkey did have a nervous breakdown. He just sat down in the middle of the road with Balaam on his back. And Balaam got off of him, and he went around in front of him, and he said, what's the matter with you, you dumb donkey? And the donkey talked. And Balaam realized that this was God warning him. And he said, oh, no. And he got down on his knees and put his head to the ground, and he said, God, I won't go. I won't go. I know it was a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And God said, no. Now, come on, Balaam. You asked if you could go, and I told you you could go. Now, I want you to go on and go, but just remember, you can only say what I tell you to say. I promise, God. I absolutely promise. And so Balaam went to see the king of Moab. Well, the king of Moab said, come on, I want to take you up here on the mountain. I want to show you. And he looked, and as far as the eye could see, there were Israelites tramping the grass, drinking the water, eating corn. And the king said, see? Now I want you to curse those Israelites. And Balaam said, well, I'll have to make a sacrifice and talk to God about that first. So excuse me just a minute. And so he sacrificed an animal, and he said, God, it's really bad down there. I mean, they are tramping the grass and drinking the water and eating the corn, and can I curse them? And God said, no, Balaam, go back out to the king of Moab and bless the Israelites. Do I have to say bless them? You said you'd say whatever I told you to say. Okay, it's really going to be bad. So he went out, and the king of Moab said, okay, get with it. Curse those Israelites. And Balaam said, the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac. We know whose God he is. Just get on with it. You interrupted me. Now I'll have to start all over again. The God of Abraham and the God of Isaac. Come on. And the God of Jacob blesses the Israelites. And the king stomped his feet, and he said, you dummy, I didn't bring you here to bless them. I brought you here to curse them. Now you get around here and look at the other side. He took him to 3 sides of the mountain, and 3 times Balaam blessed the Israelites. Now, the king of Moab is just furious, and he's ready to send Balaam home. He's done with him, and Balaam says, well, wait just a minute, king, because I have an idea. Well, it's about time somebody had an idea. Well, here's the deal. God is not mad at the Israelites. That's pretty obvious. Well, what we need to do is to do something that will make God mad at the Israelites. Well, what do you suggest? Well, God hates idols. He does. Why does he hate idols? We've got some beautiful idols. Some gold idols, silver idols, stone idols. Why does he hate idols? Well, because idols can't see, can they? Of course not. Can they hear? Well, don't be silly. Well, they can't do anything to help you either. And God can, and that's why he hates idols. Okay, I think I've got that. So what do we do? Well, I think what we ought to do is get your prettiest girls to dress up in their fanciest clothes and go sort of sashay around in front of the Israelite men. And they'll see those girls and they'll like them and they'll want to marry them. And then you tell the girls that when they get married to the Israelite men, they are to pack in their suitcases one of their idols. And pretty soon the Israelite camp will be full of idols and God will be mad. That's an excellent, you are a good fellow. Finally, you have come up with a great idea. So he sent out word for all the Moabite women to dress up in their fanciest clothes, the pretty ones, and go, and it worked. The Israelite men fell for the Moabite women, and pretty soon they're marrying him. God has told them not to marry heathen women. They're disobeying God with that. And the Moabite women put the idols in their suitcases, and pretty soon the Israelite camp was filled with idols, and God is angry. But he didn't do what Balaam thought he would do. Instead, he called Moses aside and he said, Moses, throw those idols out of the camp and go to fight Moab, and I'll be with you and you'll win the battle. Now, guess who's going to have to fight with the king of Moab? Balaam is. They went to battle. God won the battle for the Israelites, and Balaam died. He didn't get his glory very long, did he? No. God says there is a way that seems right unto a man. Balaam thought it would be fun to go to Moab. And God said, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. Now, kids, when your parents tell you don't, then don't. Even if you don't understand why. Because they're smarter than you are and they don't want you to get in danger. If Balaam had just listened to God the first time, he wouldn't have died with the Moabites. So you listen to your moms and dads.